Welcome to Shomach Shava on the Daf. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Samechtes. The Gemara in Amud Beis, immediately after the Mishnah, brings the Gemara that we had Bobakamo. Midin Kal Vachomer Ketzad. How do we know that there's a concept of Kal Vachomer? We learn from Moshe Rabbeinu by Miriam. She has to be away for 7 days. So Kal Vachomer from there, the Shechina should be at least 14 days. And from here we learn Dayai. Meaning that you can't be more than what you learn from. So you learn Kal Vachomer that should be 7 days, and you learn also Dayai that should not be more than 7 days. So many of the Sifei Chasidus quote the Magid Mezrich, which is printed in the Torah and Pashas Ba'aloischa, that he says, why doesn't it say in the Torah clearly that Kosh Baruch Hu should have said Kal Vachomer l'Shechina Yudal Yom? It doesn't say that. It says that the Father is 7 days, and we know that from here you're going to know 14, but you have Dayai. Why doesn't it say that clearly in the Torah? So the Magid Mezrich has a very short sentence, and in that sentence he says a big yesod. So you should know that you gimel Midos she'atorah nidreshes behem, the 13 different ways to dash the Torah, is the keneged yud gimel Midos Rachamim, is the 13 paths of Rachamim, of mercy. Now what's the first Midah of Rachamim? So according to what's brought in the Tosfos, and this is the sheet of the Arizal, the first Midah yud gimel Midos Rachamim is Kal Racham Echadon. So Kal is the first one. What is the first Midah she'atorah nidreshes behem? Kal Vachomer. So Kal Vachomer is keneged the Midah of Kal. So here the Magid Mezrich comes to finish the answer and says something which is not so clear. He says, because the Midah of Kal Vachomer is keneged Midah Kal, and Moshe said, Kal no refono lo, that's why Kosh Baruch Hu answered this way. What does it mean? So the Arvei Nachal in Parshas Vayetze, when he quotes the Magid Mezrich, he explains that the question was, why doesn't it say clearly in the Torah? The answer is, I want to teach you the Midah of Kal Vachomer. Why I want to teach you the Midah of Kal Vachomer? Because Moshe Rabbeinu used the Midah of Kal, and Kal is connected to Kal Vachomer. So when Moshe Rabbeinu used the Midah of Kal, came the concept of Kal Vachomer and was introduced to Moshe. The way the Bnei Yissaschar quotes it, he says a little different. He says that Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to have refuah because he wanted the Midah of Kal to be effective. So Kosh Baruch Hu told him, you know how you can be oyer the Midah of Kal? You know how you're going to trigger the Midah of Kal? Learn Kal Vachomer. Because Yud Gimel Midas keneged Yud Gimel Midas. So when you do Kal Vachomer, which is the first Midah she'atorah nidreshes behem, that will bring the Midah of Kal, which is the first Midah of Rachamim, that will bring refuah to Miriam. So according to the Arvei Nachal, because he said Kal, that's why he learned Kal Vachomer. According to Bnei Yissaschar, because he did Kal Vachomer, that's why he was Me'oyer the Midah of Kal. Now this yesod that the Yud Gimel Midas she'atorah nidreshes behem, it's connected to Yud Gimel Midas Rachamim. This the Bnei Yissaschar speaks a lot about in his farm, and also Kedushas Levi has a longer richus to show how each Midah she'atorah nidreshes behem is connected one of the Midas of Rachamim. Mention one thing over here that Bnei Yissaschar writes in a few places. One of the places is the Agud Dekalo and Pashas Chukas. He says, we have a concept that Milsa das Kal Vachomer, Torah v'kos lon kro. Something that you can learn from Kal Vachomer, it's still written in the Torah. Why you have that only Kal Vachomer? We never say that something that you can learn in Gzei Shava, the Torah wrote. So why Kal Vachomer the Torah write? So he says the yesod that Kosh Baruch Hu was coming to show Kal Vachomer is based on logic. So you would think it's a seichel enoishi. I want to show you that Kal Vachomer comes from above, comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's why it's written in the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm the one giving it to you. It's not only a logic, but it's something that's a comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he continues and says the yesod that we learned. Because the Midah which is keneged Kal Vachomer is a Midah of Kal. What is Kal? Kal is chesed. Kal Vachomer is called din. In oinshim min adin. V'haloi dinu. Din is what Adam has. You have a din, a judgment, you have a certain rules. That's what we have. Chesed is what Kosh Baruch Hu gives us from above. Oilom chesed ibane. So when we connect the sechel ha'enoishi, which is din, to getting it from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's a connection of having chesed within the din. So that's the nikuda of Kal Vachomer. Kal Vachomer is something logical, which is the Adam, but it connects to the chesed HaKadosh Baruch Hu from above. And that's the beginning, that's the opening of Yigil Midas Rachamim. What's Yigil Midas Rachamim? That within the din of the world, there's a Rachamim and Chesed Kal Vachomer from above that is beyond the limitations of this world. Because when we are noyeg midas adin with connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which that's the whole idea of Kal Vachomer, it's our logic, but connected to Hashem, so we made the whole midas adin in the world is also always connected to midas chesed HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and is bisnag imonu midas harachmim. We can add to this. That's what Kal Vachomer is all about. Kal Vachomer, the Shurish Kal Vachomer. You look Kal Vachomer from a person to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from Aviyah, from a father to Hashem. So we're connecting us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the whole Midah of Kal Vachomer. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shom Machshava Shiurim, please email shommachshava@gmail.com.